you can say, oh, you're heightening the political tensions. I would say skill issue, simply don't be a dictator. Yeah, Hassan's right on this. Reagan, oh God, this is gonna be in the history books. Jesus Christ. It seems like our man is Thomas Matthew Crooks, a 20-year-old registered Republican. Lol, he also donated to Obama campaign back in the day. Who did?
Vaush has been absolutely shameless in his response to the attempt on Trump's life. This guy has been publicly hoping for it to be a Republican and questioning on what this means politically for Democrats, not even 10 minutes after Trump being hit. It's just total mask-off behavior. And I thought this guy was a disgusting human being after accidentally exposing his lowly folder on stream. We are reaching whole new levels of disgusting behavior. With every piece of information that implicates this guy as being right-wing, Vaush squirms with glee. And with everything that points to him being possibly a leftist, Vaush is just immediately dismissive. What a surprise, right? Vaush can sit and act like he's being an ethical good boy, just looking for more information before making any definitive statements to his stream. But we all know that he didn't keep that same energy when the slightest bit of information pointed in the direction of the right wing. This guy is actually desperate to twist the narrative in the left's favor, and it's actually disgusting.
An actual, genuine presidential, well, former presidential assassination attempt. I think they got him in the ear. No Fed posting. Seriously, I'm just gonna do this preemptively. I'm not keeping my channel beholden to you motherfuckers. This is really f***ing bad. Yeah, it is really f***ing bad. You're all gonna have to resist the impulse to Fed post. I know it's gonna be tough today, but you're just gonna have to try your best.
Oh, is it fine that it's not embedded on the site?
He's getting reelected. He's getting reelected, man. Dude, this is such a fucking... That's his win. That's his win, man. He looks genuinely heroic here. Yeah, you think Biden could do that? That's the real question, lefties. Yeah, Hassan's right on this. Reagan, oh God, this is going to be in the history books. Jesus Christ. The bullet would have killed Biden. The noise from the gunshot would have killed Biden. Yeah, if it ends up being a lefty who pulled the trigger, oh boy. Yeah, this is, bad electorally. I mean, it could end up being... this is only good for Trump. If it turns out the shooter's some crazy far-right guy somehow, then that's that. But, like, let's be realistic here. Turns out to be some lefty, whatever the... narratively, yeah, it's not good. You all need to, like, emotionally gird yourself for the shooter to be, like, a mentally unstable transgender lefty. Just prepare for the worst case scenario, okay? Vaush, how can we continue to discuss the threats of Trump's political positions without doing the whole democracy will end thing? Why would we? That is the threat. I don't know, it seems like we all have to be more cognizant of our rhetoric now. It's not rhetoric. That's true. That's a truthful description of, like, you can say, oh, you're heightening the political tensions. I would say skill issue, simply don't be a dictator. You know, like, you don't like the fact that having your political positions pointed out increases the tension, like, broadly. I don't know. Maybe don't have political positions that increase the tension, you know?
Dude is in absolute panic for all the wrong reasons. Like, bro, you almost witnessed a president die on live television, and all you could think about is what it looks like for the left optically. You are truly disgusting. All you could do is sit there having some weird fan fiction fantasy about who it could be in the best case scenario. You are truly deranged. Seek help. But Take a second to soak in how this guy is reacting when he's worried about it possibly being a lefty. He ended his stream worried that the guy was left-wing. Then when the smallest bits of information start getting released that he could possibly be right-wing, Vaush cranked that stream right back up. And watch how quick his energy changes. But don't forget the quote of him saying, "Most of the information you are seeing is disinformation," and to wait for information for you to dissect analytically.
Honestly, surprising reactions from Trump. He ducked pretty quickly. I so doubt this was a right-winger, TBH. Yeah, it's not particularly likely, unfortunately. The narrative, if this does turn out to be the worst kind of person, which would be someone on our side, is going to be ruinous. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that skews political perspectives for decades, you know? Not saying it's good. Could this lead to copycats? I wouldn't be surprised if this leads to reprisal assassination attempts against a number of left-leaning officials. It really depends on who the narrative is. What? The New York Post says the was Chinese? Are they really doing this? The identified as a Chinese man. Is there any other information? Is there any information on this, or are they just saying that? Is that the angle we're taking? There's no way the breaking news on not just like the appearance, but the specific nationality of the shooter would drop from New York Post. This is crazy, man. You can just say anything, huh? The title and thumbnail of the video are probably going to cover the relevant information, but Donald Trump was the victim of an attempted assassination. We don't know anything about the shooter. We don't know anything about their motives. As far as I know, we don't know anything about their appearance. There are some far-right rags claiming that the shooter is Chinese. I mean, maybe they are. If they are, I think that they guessed that information. I don't think anyone actually knows anything about the shooter at the moment. It's possible the information comes out in 5 minutes. Who knows, you know? Most of the information that you see right now is going to be misinformation. I would strongly encourage you guys to wait and focus on stuff that you can deduce analytically rather than just repeating like factual tidbits that you get from sources, or people are saying X, people are saying Y. We don't know anything about the shooter yet. Obviously, if the shooter turns out to be left-leaning or a member of a minority group that's targeted by Republicans, or if they have like a social media history that's full of, you know, polarizing content that's left-leaning, that is going to be used as a pretext for the right to galvanize their supporters and for Trump to play up the victim martyrdom card for the rest of his presidential campaign and then his presidency. You know, this attempt on my life has left me scarred, and so on, the Palpatine shit. Just judging from their age and appearance, I'm going to guess, just guessing here, heavily motivated by and influenced by Bernie Sanders in either 2016 or 2020. That was their awakening into politics. They think that Bernie got shafted by the DNC, Hillary's the worst human being in the world, and that the only real way to change the system is by destroying the deep state and working outside of it. He got pulled into a kind of like Nazgul, you know, like both sides-ish populism that eventually pulled him further and further right. He registered Republican because he got sort of like gunned up in what Donald Trump represented as like an agent of the establishment or against the establishment. But then he got even further right than Trump. He got disillusioned by Trump, and then he, you know, took the shot.
You know, that sure changed from worried speculation to wait and see, and then finally to, I'm pretty sure I know exactly how this went down, in such an insanely quick fashion that your head had to have spun. Imagine being so shameless in your political analysis of such a messed up situation. How does anyone take this guy seriously at this point? Put aside the leaking of his clopping folder. This guy is just all optics. He tries to portray himself as some sort of intellectual lefty, when in reality, he's just a deranged commie with a thesaurus and proper tone. This guy went from shitting on the New York Post when they said it was a Chinese guy, Then when they came out with another article saying that the guy was right-wing, all of a sudden, he's a whole lot less skeptical of the situation. Weird.
Well, don't we have tentative, possibly unconfirmed, but nonetheless positive news? Hello, hello! Bring on the crab music? Yeah, wait your turn, wait your turn. Folks, you're not gonna believe it. It looks like we have a tentative ID on the shooter. Now, how legitimate is the reporting? Well, it was actually broke by, you guessed it, the New York Post. Ken Klippenstein reported it, or at least reposted the New York Post's reporting. It seems like our man is Thomas Matthew Crooks, a 20-year-old registered Republican. Folks, now, you know, every once in a while, I know, I don't want to be too glib. I know. But this is the shirt he was wearing. This is security camera footage. This was that backwards, apparently well accepted, American flag in his sleeve. It's Demolition Ranch merch. It's a very popular YouTube gun channel. I've seen pictures of this this individual, this Thomas Matthew Crooks, and he's got a pretty distinct face, I'll say. I think this was an honest-to-God, I'm guessing, right-leaning libertarian. I'm just guessing based on the Demolition Ranch stuff and also the fact that he had long hair. Right-leaning libertarian lone wolf gun nut who took a crack at a former president. Updated appears to be Antifa. This guy doesn't even look like the same guy. What do you... Okay, guys, dial it back, okay? We literally have photos of the corpse, which, again, I can't show. People are also saying an individual of this name is registered, Thomas Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, in the Pittsburgh metropolitan area. The National Pulse, no doubt a reliable institution, has found Federal Election Commission data matching that name to a location in Bethel Park, which, if the same person, showed the shooter was a donor to the Progressive Turnout Project through Act Blue. Interesting. I wonder if that's the same person. Political donations from a 20-year-old? This is from a place called the National Pulse. I don't know if I'd take this just yet. We'd be cooked. Him being a registered Republican is probably a larger swing against him. Lol, he also donated to Obama campaign back in the day. Who did? I think he was referring to Demolition Ranch, not the shooter. The only dono that matched the zip is... a $15 donation earmarked for Progressive Turnout Project. Yeah. So that's the accusation then, that 3 years ago, January 20th, 2021, Thomas Crooks, donated $15 to the Progressive Turnout Project. Someone linked it, yes, the shooter. How could the shooter have donated to Obama's campaign when Obama last campaigned in 2012, when the shooter would have been like 8? I mean, I'm looking right now at the FEC.gov list. Thomas Crooks under that zip. It was provided by a helpful individual in chat. There's only one donation registered to that name in the right zip code, and it is in fact for the Progressive Turnout Project, $15 sent 3.5 years ago. If he donated to a progressive org before becoming Republican, was he a BJG type who got radicalized the far right by Bernie's loss? Just judging from their age and appearance, I'm going to guess, just guessing here, heavily motivated by and influenced by Bernie Sanders in either 2016 or 2020. That was their awakening into politics. They think that Bernie got shafted by the DNC, Hillary's the worst human being in the world, and that the only real way to change the system is by destroying the deep state and working outside of it. He got pulled into a kind of like Nazgul you know, like both sides-ish populism that eventually pulled him further and further right. He registered Republican because he got sort of like gunned up in what Donald Trump represented as like an agent of the establishment or against the establishment. But then he got even further right than Trump. He got disillusioned by Trump, and then he, you know, took the shot.
You know, you gotta love how he just dismisses the multiple political donations to the left. But that other piece of information that says he's a registered Republican, he really zones in on that one. I wonder why. I also wonder why this guy looks so gleeful when he's reading out that this guy could have been a Republican on his second stream. It's almost like this guy is a complete political hack. And if that isn't evidence enough of him being a hack, how about the perp supposedly wearing Demolition Ranch merchandise, a YouTube channel known for its gun content? What did Vaush say about them? Well, let's take a look-see real quick, why don't we?
Still no posts on Twitter. Huh. If you look at the people Demo Ranch follows, they seem pretty far right. It's a YouTube gun channel. Assume Nazi unless proven otherwise. That's someone else. What's good?
Ah, yes. Assume Nazi until proven otherwise, guys. That really sums up how deep the logic goes in Vaush's head. Nobody should take this guy's political analysis seriously. It's a farce. Just because someone says deranged shit in a calm voice while clutching their thesaurus doesn't mean they should be taken seriously or treated like they know what they're talking about. This guy isn't even slightly sorry for the political atmosphere he has helped stoke. This whining and calling him a fascist and literally Hitler, saying he wants nothing more but to oppress minorities, etc., etc. These guys have tried so hard to paint Trump in a negative light that they have a constant need to one-up themselves in the oppression Olympics. And it seems like that has finally reached a climax. This is the atmosphere they've been pushing for. Now you guys gotta sleep in the bed you made. Stop trying to run away and point fingers in the opposite direction.
Here's how the right's reacting. I'm furious beyond words. Fuck every left-wing media member who's been calling him Hitler for the past 8 years. This is on them. They made this happen. Whoops. Maybe he should have been less Hitler-esque. I don't know. Vaush, how can we continue to discuss the threats of Trump's political positions without doing the whole democracy will end thing? Why would we? That is the threat. I don't know, it seems like we all have to be more cognizant of our rhetoric now. It's not rhetoric, that's true. That's a truthful description of, like, you can say, oh, you're heightening the political tensions. I would say skill issue, simply don't be a dictator. You know, like, you don't like the fact that having your political positions pointed out increases the tension, like, broadly. I don't know, maybe don't have political positions that increase the tension, you know?
Skill issue. Simply don't be a dictator. You know, what an enlightened response from our political lolcow. Dude, go walk off into the sunset and open up your loli folder and just leave us alone. Nobody likes you, man. You are truly a shameless, disgusting person. Even when his own audience is apprehensive about the way the left has been acting, what does he do? Blow it off and give the most ego-brained response you could possibly come up with.
Okay, I know this sounds insane, but isn't that kind of healthy? In my psychology class, I learned you're meant to try on different identities and ideologies in your teenage years. Maybe not Nazism and shit, but you get the idea. No, the issue is that, like, you're not trying on different identities. You're getting pulled by a bunch of con men who sell ideologies and morality systems to you as a way of promoting their own framework. This modern phenomena of people bouncing around, this is a modern thing. People constantly like, oh yeah, at 16 I was a Nazi, and at 17 I was an anarcho-syndicalist, and at 18 I was a Stalin. This is all modern, and it's because people are disconnected from their environment. A lot of people don't have many friends. They're not very anchored to the real world, so they get roped into these social circles online that promise them the world if they just completely alter their entire worldview. And as a consequence of that, they don't have a very strongly moored worldview, and it means that they just kind of shiftlessly believe anything that's socially expedient at the time. It's not the same as finding your identity. If anything, it's the opposite. Aren't you a part of that problem then too? No, because the ideology that I try to rope people into is correct. That sounds like a joke answer. It's actually the correct. That's actually true though. That is literally the truth. It's true for everyone? No, everyone says it's true because everyone says they're correct. That would be like asking me what the difference is between me saying that climate change is real and a climate change denier saying that it's all made up. And I say, well, I'm correct. And you're like, well, they would say that too. And it's like, well, yeah, they would. But that, yeah.
You know, it's almost like he's perfectly describing what he himself does. Maybe that's why he had such a quick response to that guy. Because he is just so internally aware of how much of a piece of shit he is. And he's just so eager to project exactly what he's doing himself onto other people, so he could feel all nice and cozy about himself when he sleeps at night. Welcome to the clown show, guys. Don't forget your makeup, cause Vaush will definitely need to be borrowing that. Vaush puts on a display of such shameless ego. Guy is fully willing to speak like he's informed on a situation, when in reality he's just speaking out of his ass while clutching a thesaurus like it's glizzies with the fellas or something. Don't ever take this guy seriously. And if you want more proof that you shouldn't be doing just that, check out this video I did on his post-Biden debate meltdown. The guy was truly falling apart that night. Alright guys, whatever you do, don't be like our guy Vaush here. Sheesh. Peace.